Yo, it's Sunday night, and this is Sheba at Night, and we got a special episode. We just found an ancient mariner's manuscript washed up on shore. Essie, I was out there doing that moon magic the other night, that's when I found
Uh-huh.
it. It floated. I floated one out, and it floated back up, and
Oh
I
my
couldn't read it, but we've now dried them out with a hair dryer, and we've got them right here. Essie, can we read it any better now?
Yeah, it looks really good. I can actually see it now. Yeah. The ink has come up to the surface.
This is supposedly, let me tell the audience, supposedly this is the book that Shytoshi Kusama has been writing. The one he talked about up in Toronto. Yeah, Toronto ETH. And so
Oh,
this
wow.
is a couple pages, right? I think what we got 3 or 4 pages out of that. It's all
Yeah, I
Spanish.
it's a bit of blurry, so let me see what I can read out. Okay, the first one is a preface and it says, "To whom this book ever finds." Did you find it like in like a bottle or
It
something
was in a bottle. It was in a bottle.
Okay, it says, "My time is short. As soon as I make this, they'll be coming for me, but that's not important. What matters most is the time we have to share together right now. What you currently hold in your hands contains everything I know about operating a lighthouse. Oh, it is my hope that you will pull enough from these pages, physical or digital, to never have to rely on another when again. You will merely see the what and the how." Huh. All right. Let me see if I can continue.
Love that so
Uh,
far.
yeah, I mean, think about that. The when, W-E-N, and the
Oh,
what,
mhm.
W-A-T, and how. That's cute.
Nice.
All right. I have given you enough lore. Do you know what lore is?
I've heard about it. It's like we tell a story and it goes on, and some people continue it.
Oh, is that right?
I don't know. It sounds good.
I thought the lore was kind of like, so you're in character and then the character, you have background information about the character, but you could be right. It could be also about the whole story. I never thought of it applying it to the entire story. Huh.
We
Okay.
should look that up. We will on the next episode.
Okay, sounds good. I have given you enough lore, enough story. So you're right, John. He wrote that. Even told you to do your DYOR. So that's do your own research through a light allegory. Ooh, like allegory was involved. So this book shouldn't be needed. Hmm. The answers are already out there for you to find either on a blockchain or saved in a database or a diary somewhere. It wouldn't even be hard to you these pieces together if you simply sat down and listened to your heart. So why write it at all? Huh. Okay. He's asking a question here. Let's see what the answer is. Because I love you. I love what we've been able to create with Ship. Standing at the helm of the ship since August of 2020. It's been that long? Wow, John, did you know that?
Yeah, August. Yeah, that's I thought it was like October 2020. Would you say 20 or 21? 20?
2020. Yeah.
2020. Congratulations. That's fucking tenure right there. We appreciate that. And crypto, that's
Yeah,
10.
that's 3 years. Whew. This has been an epic journey of 1,000 lifetimes. Every single member of the SHIB army is beautiful as they are, and we have accomplished so much together. We will accomplish so much more, but in order to do that, I need to teach you a few things.
Great.
Oops.
Great.
Good. Okay. Let me see what he says here, the rest of it. You see, I'm stepping back into the shadows so Shib can be Shib. But I have given you a charter so that you at least have an idea of where to start. And now this book. But so many other anonymous and sometimes vocal members of this army have left you breadcrumbs. It would be an absolute travesty to discount their works, but they're the type of people who have asked me not to mention them by name, and they are awesome. We've spent countless hours leaving you treats to find at a future time, sending posts, even upsetting the volunteer mods when their warrior spirit gets a little out of hand. They have made tech that would blow your mind in complexity, but have made it plebe friendly and approachable. They have pushed the outer limits for what makes a community what it is, because they love you, sometimes even more than they love themselves.
Wow. That really
Yeah.
touched me a lot of that. Can we go back to the very start of that last one? It was
Mhm.
talking about, can we read that first sentence?
You see, I'm stepping back, that one.
Yeah, what was right after that?
Um, you see, I'm stepping back into the shadows so Shib can be Shib, but I have given you a charter so that at least you have an idea of where to start, and now this book. But so many other anonymous and sometimes vocal members of this army have left you breadcrumbs. It would be an absolute travesty to discount their work, but they are the type of people who have asked me not to mention them by name, and they are awesome. They've spent countless hours leaving you treats to find at a future time, sending posts, even upsetting the volunteer mods when their warrior spirit gets a little out of hand. And they have made tech that would blow your mind in complexity, but have made it plebe friendly and approachable. They have pushed their outer limits for what makes the community what it is, because they love you, sometimes even more than they love themselves.
That was a good one. What I noticed was the charter. He was talking about the charter. I say he, Shytoshi, is just a allegory for a centralized leader in a decentralized environment, an ecosystem. And I think that's why he's falling away, right? Because he doesn't want to be seen, he, she, the allegory, doesn't want to be seen as a leader in a decentralized, now, not just the leader, but the leader.
Mm.
Everyone has a chance to be a leader in the decentralized ecosystem. It doesn't go up to one. And that's where I think Shytoshi, which, by the way, Shytoshi, shout out to you for giving up the power like that, takes a real fucking G. Okay.
Mm.
But that being said, he said, yo, I set up a charter. I'm interested in that charter. That's kind of like what we've been reading on the show, isn't it, Barbs?
Correct. Yes, we've been working on the charter bit by bit, but I think at the end of this preface, we're going to actually get some. I think I saw some numbers out there on the other
Oh, great.
pages.
Fantastic.
Let me finish this really quick, and then we'll go on to the next one. Why do we call Shib Shib? Because is it because of the dog that we use as a mascot, or does it mean something more? I mean, Shib Inus are probably the most best breeds out there. Faithful, loyal, personality for days, but they are stubborn in the hands of a trainer who doesn't do the daily work. And when they're stubborn Shiba Inus in your hands, good luck. A Shiba Inu has been taken care of, though. Endless entertainment, endless joy, much power. Wow. They can completely transform spaces and industries, grabbing the status quo collar and shaking the FUD out of it until they come to their senses. So the FUD is the FUD. We've talked about the FUD factor. Here he's talking about it too. What do you think?
Yeah, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt. Saw somebody
Correct.
saw somebody mention something about that today, and it was just like, sowing uncertainties. And I thought,
Mm,
uncertainty can be sown, doubt can be sown
mm.
into people's lives. What do you like to do when people try to sow doubt in your life, Barbie, or even just by chance encounter on the street or overhearing a conversation? What do you like to do? What's your favorite technique?
Usually I take it either back out if it's out there in the air, and I feel like it's fear or FUD or whatever it is. If someone says something negative, I'll be like, take that back, and if they don't take it back, I'll turn that sentence around. Sometimes that'll happen at a job. Someone will say something, I just don't. It's not the way I want it to go, so I'll take that back. But that's how I do it usually, right away, straight out into the universe, change the structure of the sentence, change what I'm thinking.
That's a good way of doing it. Yeah, change what you're thinking. Exactly. I think all the good changes come from the inside. They really do. And I learned this weekend, if you want to see something on the outside, that you have to be it on the inside, whatever it
Mm.
is. And then, me and you've probably seen these before. They call them echoes. You get a little test, see if you've
Yeah.
changed.
Mhm.
The echoes. And so when you see that is when you really get to show yourself if you've changed. And that can be a lot of fun. I mean, and then you can get through those echoes sometimes easily. Sometimes you don't get through them at all. But whatever it is, and when you make it on the other side, you recognize that that was an echo maybe, and then you're home free, home free, home free.
That's beautiful. There's the last sentence here. Let me read that really quick. It says, let me see if I can read it. It's kind of wet still. Um, I can't do this alone. I never could. I need all hands on deck to make this work. Everyone always says, when Shytoshi this, but Shytoshi said that, and I want to clear the air. You need to stop asking me and start asking yourselves and each other. I never wanted to be your figurehead. Oh, there it is, John. That's what you were talking about. It was a role that needed to be filled, and I simply said, here I am, send me. I learned with all of you too, and not always for the better, but I also naively didn't understand what impact I was making in this space. So for the times I let myself slip, I'm sorry.
No problem. We all do that. We all do that, and then we get that contrast. Lets us know what we don't want, and then you make the changes on the inside, like we said.
Oh,
If an echo comes around, you know,
mm-hmm,
you're
mm-hmm.
ready for it. Me and Barb told you you're ready for it. And Barb, did he say he couldn't do it alone? Well, great.
Yeah.
All hands
Yeah.
on deck. If you're watching
Oh,
this and you're a Shibarian, or you like Shiba, all hands on deck. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. If you're a leash person, rock and roll. Barb, you like bone? Should they rock and roll?
absolutely. I think it's definitely part of this whole thing, right?
That's right. And they've got responsibilities and governance. And there is a charter out there. Me and Barb will keep bringing you that charter. You come on back to us. Come get your charter from us.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what's the second part. So, okay, so I have some numbers here. It's a little discombobulated, but let me see if I can put something together. So we have in the great, oh, look at this, John. It says in the great canine code. Remember we were started that these past 2 weeks, I think it's been.
That's right.
Oh, this past week it's just been. I share with you 22 principles of harmony, justice, and mutual respect. Here we'll take a chapter or two to discuss each and how it matters for you as a keeper. I'll do my best to keep everything easy to digest, but I can't compromise. It'll go down like bitter melon soup. Oh, soup.
Bitter melon soup doesn't sound tempting. So he was talking about those 22 principles that we've been reading.
Yeah.
Okay. The canine code is the 22 principles, or is there more to it, Barbie?
I really don't know. I think,
We'll find out, because that's next week. Join us back
yeah,
on Monday for that, for sure.
oh, well, yeah, that's true. Let me see what we can do here. So it says one, transparency and action. Oh, that's the same one that we had. So I guess he's keeping the same. Every Shibazen is expected to uphold the highest standards of honesty and integrity, which lay the groundwork for mutual trust and collective harmony. Um,
Amazing.
let me see if I can find. Let me see.
That's the groundwork. That's the foundation that this is built around: honesty, trust, transparency, goodwill towards men. What was that? Respect for life, digitally, physically,
Okay. Oh,
non-violent.
I found another part, a little missing piece here. It says preserving our own transparency. How I behave in this space is like how I care for that lens. Oh, look at that. A lens. Maybe that's what he's implying with the lighthouse. So it says the light I project forms the connections that I make with each person I meet. I sound the foghorn with every post I send, every raid I join, and with every song I sing to you. Oh,
Yes.
it must be a singer.
I love it. That makes me freaking
I
excited.
wonder if it's like part of a choir or something. All right. Knowing this, it seems a little silly to hide behind masks of my own making, but I assure you, they're sometimes necessary in this position. Ever since the first Ryoshi War, and probably even sooner, I knew this to be the case, and not a day goes by where I don't hope the fisherman sees the light we've started sending out. Oh, look at that. He's calling on the fisherman. That I wonder, is he talking about Ryoshi with the fisherman?
Shout out to all fishermen everywhere. You keep it up. And everybody on the oil rigs, everybody on the boats, the navies, the
Go try.
peace. Mm-hmm.
All right. So it continues and it says, see, I don't do this for me. I know some of you think I do, but once you really grasp what's being built, I hope that perspective changes. You shouldn't see me at all. To be honest, I only ever wanted to see what sort of light you all could make. And I know things haven't gone exactly according to plan, and the ship team hasn't always been the best at operating this lighthouse of ours, but I'm sure you can imagine how hard it has been for the original operators of our terrestrial lighthouses with their limited
That's
technology.
right. There was the first people that ever built lighthouses ever, Barbie. And you think it was
Ooh.
easy, you know? Getting
Mm.
that lens, making that light, making those stairs. None of it was easy.
No, it was not. And that's amazing that he's bringing that to light here for us. He says they improvised, adapted, and overcame more than this. So can I, and so can we. So I strive to keep my own housing clean and dust-free until more keepers come to do the same. Each day, the bar to entry gets lower and the tools get better, and all I have to do is a little maintenance before the house cracks.
That's right. That's right. He's saying, leaving it to you guys. I built the house for you. You know, a mason comes in and they build the house for a customer or client. And he did it out of love. Love. He didn't charge a thing. Right.
Right, okay. Okay.
Shout out to all the masons out there, all the mariners and the masons.
God bless America with that. Let me see what's next. I found another one. I think the next one is two. I'm sorry, John.
The
Let me
first
find it.
masons that ever built a lighthouse, Barbie. I bet they were up there, and they were bragging when they got home. They're like, I was up there so high.
Yeah, I mean, think of the danger out there, right? With this stuff.
On the rocks. Come on, with the ocean.
That's not fun. Okay. Oh, here it is. John, I found another one. It says digital respect, number 2. It says we acknowledge and respect each citizen's sovereignty over their digital identities, assets, and intellectual property. Within the lighthouse, the team has to be able to trust each other. While one sleeps, another one works in the engine room, and while yet another handles communication. Next week, they'll wake up and change roles. It's what they're supposed to do. It's what they do to support the whole organism. The symbiosis of this team, their ability to understand and often perform each other's roles. So that means, okay, wow, that's interesting. Becomes in itself a quality of life measure because one man now feels comfortable sleeping while the other works. Okay, so I guess it's cross training here. He's talking about cross training. So if like one person, sometimes we know how to do only one thing and we contribute and we talk about that often. You always say, should a dev do anything else but to be a dev? I agree with that. Should you be doing,
Don't have
mathematics
me
if
do it.
that's
Do
right?
the best at, right?
Yeah, and Carlos always talks about that too. He gives me my pass of not having to be part of X.
No, you don't need to do. No, you don't do X. If you don't do X, I don't do Instagram that much. Barbie does. See how that works and trades off? It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Cross
I
training, like
know.
you were saying.
But that's what he's saying now. He's saying, you know what though? We need to learn how to do everyone's roles so that we can all, so the people can, who are doing one specific job can rest. I think that's really important. That's a good thing. I didn't think that was going to come through. So, and then he continues and says, beneath the layer of trust requires is one of mutual respect. Inside the lighthouse, it is to respect and allow for quick communication in both the hard times and the soft. Keepers tend to know each other's roles better than their own families, and this team effectively becomes a family unit. They got there through perseverance and taking risks, but also compassion and the wisdom they gained from a brutal experience. They understand that the job used to carry with itself for the respect it has shown back to them for simply keeping a light on. This is interesting, John. I did not expect this to come through. So what he's saying here, as becoming a keeper of the lighthouse, sometimes we'll know our roles better than our own families, and the team becomes a family. I don't know if you've ever had this, John, but this has happened to me often. When we're at work, our people that we work with, they become our family because we're spending almost 75% of our time with them. Are you there? Oh, what do you think?
I'm so sorry. 100% your work family becomes your family. You like you say, you spend at least, you were right on about 70. Some people may say more. And it's love, and families are beautiful, and I'm loving how families are learning to work together, right? Especially these strong ones, these ones that I think that are leaving breadcrumbs that he's talking about. I've seen them grow. I love that we teach some of these principles in here because I'm growing, right? And then, like I say, making those changes on the inside.
Right. No, yeah. And it's funny when I work with a bunch of guys, and a majority of them are all guys, and they'll call each other, this is my work wife.
That's right, 100%. I've heard that. Luckily, I got out of the force before that was a thing, because I would be a dead guy. I'd be like, look, this is my dead guy.
So, all right, I think there's a little bit more there left on this one. It says, if there is gossip or some other sort of imbalance, the team falls apart completely. If communication doesn't flow freely, important information gets dropped before it reaches the end of the line. And that's when the alarm bell starts to ring. Good leadership understands this, no matter in its form. And it ensures that respect is both given and maintained within their team, so they themselves can sleep at night, to keep the light on no matter the cost. So that's also the communication factor. You ever play the game Telephone?
Oh, is that the one where you go all the way around and you see if the message gets all the way back around to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, that one never worked. I could never, like we did it at school, never worked. Has anybody ever won that game, Barbie? I was thinking, how could it be? I was so confused because I was always way at the end, right? I know I passed mine on good. I mean, oh, come on. Have you ever seen that game work, though? Has anybody ever won around you?
No, I'm sorry. No. I don't think so.
Well, that tells a lot about telecommunications or about communications in general. I don't see that much going on unintentionally, but that telephone game is busted. That thing is busted.
Well, thankfully, we have the ability to pin things, and I think I'm sure that the moderators, when they switch over their shifts, they must have some form of communication for everybody. Hey, this is what's happened. This is what's going on, to keep the conversation and the communication 100%, that it's, the right information that we're passing along so that everybody's on the same page. If and when FUD occurs or somebody wants to, come in and we have to talk about something new. So, yeah, I mean, that's a really tough job, John, because everybody communicates differently.
It is. And I hope that's going on. I never, ever thought about that going on the daily between moderators. But good moderators, yeah, they should be talking like that. It's not every day, because some days are slow and they can come in, they can kind of see while both of them are around, or hopefully you got multiple ones. But I'll tell you this, shout out to all the good ones out there. You know who you are. Keep doing your thing. And if you're going to be a moderator,
Mm.
hopefully you heard me and Barbie talk about some of those principles, because they were, listen to people. What was it? Freedom of expression was one of them that I really did like.
You know what, John? I just found the 2.1, the continuation of that little segment there. It says the respect we show ourselves. So we're talking about digital respect is number 2, and the number 2.1, Shytoshi writes the respect we show ourselves. Respect is a two-way street.
It is.
If I give,
you're right.
if I give none, I shouldn't expect any. That's not balanced, and that's not respectful. I heard once that there's only one thief out there and everyone else is just trying to get their stuff back. I wonder what that means. Ever since, I do my best to have a sense of compassion for the people I work with, even when they can't give it back to me. Compassion for the people I work with, even when they can't give it back to me.
That's right. I've seen you do that, Barbie.
So,
Shout out to you for that. Love you for that. Like, thank you for being that lighthouse, for the people, because I've seen it. I've seen you love on people since the day that you came over and started fucking with us, fucking with me on Telegram, Barbie. When we first met, we knew we were here for a reason. Didn't give a fuck what it was. What is it today? Okay, great. We're here for it. What's next? Let's roll.
It was the question is always, how can I help, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, when you are able just to have that ability to love on people, and no matter what's going on, that does help bring the compassion out for the people that we're working with. Who knew that this was work?
Yeah, honestly. And it's been so much fun. I love doing these new principles. I love coming on TV with you and teaching and learning at the same time. Some of that learn teaching. And let's do this again. Is there any more booty? Is there anything else that came in that plunder that we found at the lake?
Yeah. Did you want to finish this 2.1? You want me to try to find 3?
Oh, please. Anything you got. I think it's all golden.
Okay. So it says, sometimes I just know how to keep the light on. I work with a team to take something far beyond the limits of what anyone could imagine or do themselves. And we're just getting started. I respect them so much, even when I haven't been the best at showing it. We all do this without much of a manual or a guidebook, saving for some old wisdom. They're bound to be made mistakes. Remember the story of the semicolon? It's so powerful. How we handle those mistakes when they come up is something your team may not be able to easily see, but they can prove. Oh, shoot, sorry. John, I just pressed the wrong button. Let me see. I'm sorry. I just.
Don't be sorry.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. How we handle those mistakes when they come up is something your team may not be able to easily see, but they absolutely can perceive. That's why it's so important to pause when necessary and circle back with ourselves, because we respect that part too, and because it might be a while before our watch relief will be around again, and they need rest of their own.
100%. 100%. Shout out to all the people out here doing it, taking rest, taking shifts. I've seen that, Barbie. I've seen it since January. People been taking shifts. Because why? Because it's important. It's important you be there for the people. It's important you be there for the FUD, for your community. It's important that you be there to expose, like we did. When people are DMing people, when they're needing help, let's just say stuff like that. And if anybody ever does that and asks for money, not a good thing. Matter of fact, just talk always in the chats if you're on Telegram, right? There's no need to DM. Isn't that right, Barbara?
Correct. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Actually, I'm taking a break from DMing.
Yeah.
Until the new moon, I'm just going to be like, anyone wants to talk, go ahead and talk.
Keep it public on the chats. That way,
keep it right out there.
Wrong, people, somebody writes something that's wrong or leads somebody astray, and they do it in public, somebody will catch it.
Yeah,
A
true.
lot of
True
times.
that. Very, good advice, John. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, number 3, physical and digital nonviolence. We collectively pledge to refrain from causing harm or discomfort, be it physical interactions or digital interactions. All right. There are certain thing keepers do not eat in the lighthouse. We're talking about food, I'm in that.
I set up for that one.
Me and the French fries that I eat every day. I need a better diet. Okay, so it says these things keepers do not eat in the lighthouse. Once a lead engineer brought in toad soup, and sheesh, okay, ugh, toad soup. I can't even think of that.
Interesting. Interesting.
Cleared the kitchen for 3 days straight, and then they reheated it the next day. And ugh, just imagine that on the back end. Oh dear gosh.
Oh, okay.
I could be
Okay.
writing here. So yeah, there's certain things keepers don't eat because cracking a window isn't always an option sometimes. Oh my gosh. If that wasn't bad enough, the next week, Maze brought in haggis. No, thank you. Haggis, he's talking about.
No, 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 no. They don't eat in the lighthouse. Now, what is that an allegory for? What is that what are they trying to say there on the slide? What are they saying?
Well, let me read the next sentence. Maybe it'll help me because at
Okay.
this point, because at this point, he doesn't want anyone opening the windows. I think that's pretty important
Ah,
to keep.
ah,
Yeah.
I
So it
didn't hear
says in the lighthouse, that layer of respect. Okay, so extends to everything we do. The idea is you want to be respectful of others. You don't want to stink
that
up the
makes a lot of
place.
sense. Yes. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That makes sense.
Of
Now
course it does.
that hits good. Yeah, I like the way that hits. Yeah.
Okay. It says it's maintained during every test and every interaction between operators. Some call it camaraderie, others brotherhood, but the core principle is the same. It's an organic organism that refrains from causing harm or discomfort for the sake of the whole over self. So you're really being considerate of everybody else around you versus your need for haggis.
Yes, exactly. Put that outside, right?
So it says
Get out of
it is
public.
it is built from the shared experience of each operator who learn to communicate in a way that words simply do not do. So then he writes, oh my gosh, farts in the lighthouse are bad. Okay. Okay.
What did he say?
He said farts in the lighthouse
Are
are
maddening.
bad, are
Are
bad.
bad. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes,
Oh
yes. They
gosh,
stink.
help us.
Yeah. Go
All right,
outside.
so
Be careful.
3.1, it says reflecting the mirror back on ourselves. So he writes, I'm very used to speaking with my head and my logic. Things make sense and so they have value when I'm talking to somebody. Is it that way? The most effective one? Does it reach the most people? Is there something about social media that causes everyone to change their values along